my fab fans to Glam's new video. I'm going to be making the dog zodiac. This is actually my dad's zodiac. Yep, he's a little puppy. That's why he's hyper and doesn't get along with my mother. I think this is my dad's zodiac. I remember my mom talking about it once. If I talk about how much they hate each other, it's because they're divorced. And they like to talk shit. Which is fine, it has nothing to do with me. I mean, I know they love me. I don't care if they love each other. And no, I will never hate either of my parents. So I don't care what they do with their life. They live in their own one. They can make decisions for themselves. They're adults. Even if those decisions are really stupid. Some of the things my dad buys are a little stupid. But you know what? He can do what he wants because it's his own money. Except he actually spent the check that was meant for my car on me. And I immediately went into calling him a drug addict. Because that is exactly what a drug addict would do. Is spend money meant to fix something that was for your child. So that they could get to work safely. Do I talk shit about both of my parents equally? Because I believe in equality, true as can be. Which also means I will treat everyone just the same. Like if you pour food in the drive-through, I will call you a piece of shit trash immediately. Not to your face, because I am at my work and I can't do that. I'm not allowed. I get in trouble. And I'm not getting written up because you're a piece of shit. That clearly there was never loved as a child. If you think it's okay to litter. Because it is 100% illegal to litter. And you get fined very high where I live for littering. Apparently every state has a different, amount they get fined for littering. I know my state is quite high of a fine for littering. I just don't want people to litter in general because, well, I don't know, if you lived somewhere, you'd want your home to look nice, right? But I guess I also work in the shitty part of my state rather than the nice end of my state. But apparently the cleanliness standards in the, KFC in the nice part of my state is, they failed inspection once. And there was a few things they didn't do. Their temps were not right. Imagine warm coleslaw. Oof. And they also never cleaned their soda machine. We clean our soda machine pieces every single day at my place. We have the highest cleanliness standards out of all of our KFCs in our area because we hear about what they've been through. So seeing that someone won't even do the bare minimum of cleanliness is absolutely horrifying to me, and I would never want to visit their house. Disgusting. I put everyone on the same cleanliness standard, though, because I don't care if tables are covered in shit and things and items, as long as those items are not covered in dust. Like, they have to be clean and stuff, but the floor has to be completely empty no matter what. That is a very important standard for me in my own house. So why wouldn't I have that for other people too, in theirs? As long as the floor is empty, and there's enough room to where you can spin around, then you're good. The only reason I can't fully spin around in my chair right now is because of the fact that I have a few jackets on the end of my chair. Which is kind of annoying because I would like to have a place to hang my jackets, but I can't hang them on my closet door because it makes it lean. And I don't want to hang my wigs there either, but I need a place to put them, so I just put them there anyway. And it still bothers me that I have to put them there, even though I really would rather not. But I have nowhere else to hang them because I can't hang them on my actual door. That's already seeming to like break on me because it's just too much stuff, which means I need to get rid of some stuff. But I actually use all my stuff for cosplay, which means I'd have to put other stuff away. And it's just really stressful because I am living in a very confined space. But I do a lot of cosplay and I find it really fun. It's my one and only hobby. But it's also just a lot. I will say though, I do not keep any of the stuff I make in these videos, unless it is cosplay directly themed. I do give away every single one of my Lego sets that I've been making for these videos. One of my coworkers is building a shelf in her house right now so that she can display all of them. And I find that both adorable and highly amusing. One ear. Okay. I will say, though, I do wish I got more commenters, but I know not a lot of people find me interesting, and that's okay. It's a little sad, but it's normal. I'm used to it. I'm not the most interesting person, and I don't try to be. I try to be me. I will say, though, some of my stories to my coworkers is really funny, and we had a conversation about butt plugs, and one of my coworkers was like, I just got a new one, and it's like a foxtail, it has matching ears, and I was like, I have a bunch of tails, but none of them are plugs. And she just immediately was like, oh god. Apparently what I said was, I'm a freak, but in a different way. I'm not gonna lie though, I do own one butt plug. But my only thought was, she has a brown and white one, and I'm like, but when you take it out, how does it not get dirty? Even if you fully clean in there, aren't you afraid of any of it getting on the brown, and then you just not knowing how actually dirty it is? I know the hair gets wet anyway, if you're sweating a lot and juicy enough. But my only thought was, how does it not get dirty? And how would you know how dirty it is if it's brown? Why would you grab a brown tail? These are valid concerns, I hope. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of things nobody else thought of. But I also know if I itch my skin too much, if I itch my skin too hard, it comes off with a bunch of flakies of dead skin mixed with my sweat, which is really gross, but it is a grayish brown. Though I also found that water-based lube, if it mixes with certain fluids, it turns brown. Or at least in my experience, it always has. I don't know if that's gross or weird. I also probably shouldn't be saying this on the internet. Anyway. Apparently something I'm very good at, for no reason, and probably should not, is flirting with men's wives. Like, why is this a skill that I have? I don't want it. It's useful. I mean, I spent my period happy because I had a titty pic from this man's wife, and it was amazing. But also, it feels like I'm encroaching on something I shouldn't. But you know what? Both sides of the relationship consent, so that's what really matters, you know? I love talking about it, though, with my coworkers. Because it just makes them be like, but, like, why? And I'm just like, I don't know. They're into it. And I find it really fun to flirt. I will admit, though, I'm not polyamorous. Not personally, it's not my thing. Don't get me wrong, if I dated someone who was polyamorous, I'd be okay with it. As long as we both agreed on what was necessary for them to fit, so that both of us are happy with introducing a third partner. But I also don't really necessarily want that. I would rather just have one partner and just be content with them. Because it's hard enough for me to be okay with physical touch in the first place. Any form, too. Because, like, hugging is even too much from certain people. Don't get me wrong. If I do care about a person, I will hug them immediately. But also, for me to gain that amount of comfortability with a person takes a while. And it's not something that will just happen from, like, just meeting me in person. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate people. But getting that close to me is a lot of sensory overload. And going to cons in the first place is a lot for me. I will state, I do like going to cons, but if I'm alone or don't have a person to, like, go to, or a plan, I will zone out completely and just be in my head and just uncomfortable because I'm in a crowded place alone. I don't like crowds. Also, whose idea was it to put an apple on the dog's head? I love it, but like, why? He also has a wrinkly forehead. That's adorable. But, I will state my ability to just share really disturbing information that would be deeply personal to some people is not because I necessarily think anyone wants to know the information, but because I'm not embarrassed about the information. I just think it's really funny, and the shock value on people's faces is really worth it. Though some people get angry at me, so it's a dangerous game I'm playing. I just want, I don't know, I just want to be funny. But I'm not very funny to myself. But I do like watching people be really shocked, because usually they end up laughing, because they're just like, I didn't expect you to say that. Which is really funny, because I say shocking things all the time. You'd think they'd expect me to say shocking things more often. I have no sense of shame or secrets that I would not share. I'm not keeping any secrets. I'm in a doggy. Right. Mm-hmm. One, two, step. Here. Sometimes I say things in hopes I scare people. I will state, it usually does not work. Usually it just makes them laugh. Though I do have very soft feet, so when I walk up behind people sometimes, they don't hear me coming. And I just touch them on the shoulder and they go, "Oh my god, where did you come from?" And I'm like, "From over there." Though I will whisper the weirdest things for no reason other than I can. government is propaganda and they hate us. My friend likes to listen to my videos, and they were just like, yeah, no, I just was listening to your video, and then I just hear out of nowhere, from static silence to just nonsensical info. That apparently is really funny to some people. Anyway, I finished the doggo. Peace, love, have a good night, my fab fans, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!